Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Lionel. I'm your host for LT Productions, and you're watching I Watch You Watch. We are covering Married to Medicine. This is season 12, and I'm going to be covering episodes 10 and 11. Brief synopsis of episode 10 since I missed it, and we're going to go on to 11. I appreciate one for coming to my channel. Thank you. Please like this video in support of me. You can share it, and you can leave your comments below. If you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit that notification button so you can stay notified as to what's happening on this channel. Now let's get into these episodes. All right, y'all. So I did post on my community wall last week in regards to Married to Medicine. I just felt disconnected on last week's episode, and that's why I ended up not really recording and reviewing the episode. I have been enjoying this season. Let's make that clear. I don't know, I think just something just clicked to me, and it was just a question of what are we doing here. I said I didn't know if this was because of the little break that we had, which was only 1 week, but to come back and we didn't see the resolve between Simone and Heavenly. They just kind of moved on, and then we saw something that looked very weird. I'm like, Dr. Heavenly, I don't know why you kissed that woman in her mouth. Right now, even though y'all don't like to say it, but Toya and Simone are in an alliance, and they act just alike. How Simone is taking her relationship with Heavenly is the same way that Toya is taking it with Heavenly in this latest episode. If you saw towards the end of the episode of 11. Not saying I can't say that is wrong, because we do know that Heavenly will lapse and do something else. But Toya, of all people, when do you change? Like, y'all want other people to change and do this and do that. When do you change? Anyways, Heavenly had that town hall meeting last week, and I felt like they must have run out of things to do, and Heavenly was asked maybe, or she came up with something for her now to be challenged with the group as to what is she going to do if she's put in certain situations. And then Heavenly getting mad all over again, because I'm like, well, you got mad a few weeks ago when Toya and Simone was doing this crap to you, so why would you set yourself up to do that again? I do believe overall Contessa did a great job with her trip. At this point, she kind of, I give her 10s, and she's got bragging rights. However, I don't think that you should clown someone else, Dr. Contessa, as to not living up to your standards and what you want done, and because you talk a lot of ish on other people, and I'm glad that you did show up and you made things right. And I think that you were overall a good moderator to get things going and all of that. I could tell possibly how your house is ran with your children. Now, what you and Scott got going on, that's something different. But anyways, yeah, I think you did a good job. Quad Talk gave them the news of her IVF and eggs not taken and all that good stuff, bad stuff. Everyone rallied around her and supported her. Contessa was happy that finally that there was a bonding moment. Quad feels like a failure, as she also expressed that to Kirk a couple of weeks ago, or whenever they were talking about the eggs and all that good stuff, bad stuff. She did say that she regretted not preserving her eggs, freezing her eggs earlier in life, as Jackie had instructed her to do. But she's taking a break from IVF. Later on in the episode, they finally go home and talk with King, and it felt like a death. Although the eggs didn't make it, I call it as symbolic. And it was just like, yeah, it's over. Like, when you would watched how King and Quad were interacting with each other, whatever they had, it's over. And, ooh, I hate to be wrong. But I could be wrong. But it's just like, I was rooting for them. And it's hard because this group of women are really weird to me. Dr. Heavenly said, oh, I love King for Quad. This was just a couple years ago. And now we know the fallout of everything. And maybe she did, but I just don't know if there are real enough people within the sector to just tell people the truth. And of course, it's their relationship and they got to figure it out for themselves. But I'm not going to sell delusion to people that I call friend and whom I say I love. Now, Quad did hide this man for a long time. And maybe they didn't see all the dysfunction that was coming up out of him. The most I could just keep seeing out of him, and it's even displayed in episode 11, there's this sarcasm. And it really feels very condescending towards Quad. And it is hidden behind jokes, or they're just jokes. And I don't think at this point in Quad's life, in the stuff that we know that she's been through, that she needs another man in any way being abusive. And that's how people work their way in, as far as manipulating, just to serve a greater purpose, to overtake them and be abusive. It's the slight little digs here, the little jokes here, and then next thing you know, you're really breaking down this strong woman, this independent woman, to be whatever you want her to be for you. And that can happen vice versa too. But no. But I did see this change of behavior, or I'll just say that this change in how Quad received King, which now I'm going to be calling him Kirk, because I don't think that you deserve to be called King. I don't know if last season you were performative or not, because I was really seeing how you handled the Quad last season, and I was like, okay, I get it. I get why Quad is with you this season, and I get it that there's been a lot that's happened with this whole IVF stuff. I do think that they were in over their heads, especially if they weren't a couple locked in, like, you're my person and I'm going to be with you forever, and you're committing to making a child. Yes, people do it every day by accident, and sometimes men just want to have some type of ownership and claim, and they'll say, have my baby. But y'all couldn't decide on where y'all wanted to live. But whatever. My prayers is for Quad, and because of how Kirk wants to show up on the internet, I don't have respect for you. Met Gala. This is a fool. Putting Toya as a chairperson is crazy. Sorry. I don't fool with Toya, but I'm gonna give her some kudos. She did apologize. The mistake in what Dr. Jackie did, which we're finding out in episode 7 that everyone really came to that conclusion, and now, from what I'm hearing and how they're saying it, now y'all want to act crazy, which I don't. It's really weird to me how this group operates sometimes. Giving Toya a lead role after her being negative for the past 2 of the galas since its inception, basically, is crazy to me. Cool that she apologized and ready to put her best foot forward. You got to crawl before you walk, because some of us have been in this and have been here working to make it a success. And now you come up in here and trying to tell people who won't be secretaries and stuff, and no. I understand Dr. Heavenly all fully in that. And Dr. Jackie launches her new scrub line. That's what we saw advertised. And then I was shocked when Angel had her own. However, there's room for everyone. Dr. Jackie didn't be standoffish at Angel's event, so whatever. I don't know. On to episode 11. What my frustration is I didn't really get that connectivity during this episode. It was like, oh, let's move on. Let's rush on to get all this other crap done because the season's about to end. And it just didn't have that same flow as the beginning of the season and many episodes. I will commend Married to Medicine. You guys had my attention for a lot more episodes than even some of the housewife shows, even though they keep getting the accolades. But most of the shows these years have really sucked overall. But whatever, I'm just one person. Episode 11, Angel. She's having a movie premiere. She's has a starring lead role in a movie called, I thought it was called Sin, but then later on I saw Sinister. So I'm not completely sure as to what the movie title is. But anyways, she invites some of the ladies. I saw Simone, Contessa, I think Brandy was there, Mimi was there, if I'm remembering correctly. But they were all there. Before the premiere started, of course, Angel did her red carpet walk, and then the ladies sit down. Simone ends up telling the ladies that that her and Cecil, there is a couple strip, but she's handing over the reins to to Eugene and Toya to handle the couple strip. And the reason that they're doing it is because they're working on their own relationship, and I can respect that. I feel a different way in regards to Simone and Cecil, because you mean to tell me for weeks you were campaigning to divorce, and now we're working through rough patches. We get you in the confessional, Simone, talking about, oh, after Cecil had his talk, we got the boys scared. They think that she's did she say on a ledge? Let me make sure. I think they said she's on the verge of losing it. I'm paraphrasing because I can't remember I don't have the right word. I'm like, I guess it was good editing, because how it was really conveyed in a lot of episodes, and we felt your pain. When you yelled the way that you did, we felt the pain. And now that's why I'm trying to learn not to be so invested in these reality shows, because you could be rooting for folk and then standing up for folk, and then all of a sudden they take a 180 from what. Okay, so everybody has been online. Oh, Simone about to divorce him. Divorce him. He's a bum. He's all that. And then you got Simone now defending Cecil. So whatever y'all expecting at this reunion is not going to happen. They ain't getting no divorce. And I'm not championing divorce. However, if you're miserable, leave. If you're going to fix it, fix it. But get out of my face if you are not going to follow through with what you acting like. What is the problem? Quit talking to us about it. Get us out the chat. I don't want to be in your group chat with this foolishness, Apollo. Get away from me with it. Angel and Dr. Mimi aren't feeling it for Eugene and Toya being over the couples, especially after the display that happened weeks ago at the house. And she doesn't think that they don't think that at least out of Toya, that she's a good representative about a good couple and all that. I'm not gonna say I'm mad at it. I'm sorry. And then you're gonna have people that you don't even respect leading you or guiding you or during this couple trip. It's like, I'm good on that. Later on, Mimi was talking with Steve or whatever. Look, I'm gonna enjoy this trip. I can get along. The movie starts. Contessa is out of it. Everybody sees it and all that. She wakes up after the movie. Yeah, the movie's good. Eugene and Toya tells Eugene that Simone wants them to do the couples trip. Eugene is processing it to see if he really wants to be hosting this couples trip and all that. Toya was like, we got a lot of single folk coming on here, and I just don't want to cater this to them. I don't even know why they would want to be on a trip like this. Okay, why don't you have a gripe with purveyors of pop that are hiring single folks? She said that she learned her lesson about poking into single people's business. Have you? Okay. Eugene is on board, and they're discussing at just some things that kind of buffer things if things go left. Maybe you need a timeout as far as some couples or whatever, and we're going to send you to your room to cool off, maybe to go have sex. He said give him some cards, which I didn't understand that. So are we children? Are you going to treat them like children? I mean, what is it? Because on a grown adult trip, you're not sending me to my room. Now, well, since I'm an introvert, I'm probably going to take them up on that offer. And possibly I'll be petty for my own selfish reasons, so I can be sent to my room. Deuces. That would probably be me. Okay, so the folks is traveling to Jamaica. They're going to be in a particular area, Montego Bay. There's been some flight cancellations. I know Mimi and Steve, Contessa and Scott, it's been bad. And it's been bad for over a year. I think at least we're not hearing it on the news anymore. It may have died down. I don't know if it's died down. But I have my own theories as to what's going on with these flight cancellations. But hey, this isn't the time or the place. Scott isn't available to come as of yet. I think. Oh, I don't know if the flight's canceled. Whatever. He's having a procedure done because last week he talked about being diagnosed with glaucoma, and that's why he's been wearing those shades all the time. Brandy and Shamar, her husband. Shamar could only come for one day. Brandy said that she's going to have to cut the trip short because on Monday her children go back to school, and she's not missing that. I don't blame her. I don't blame her. It does feel like Married to Medicine had they didn't have a late start in filming. They had to figure out what to do since Heavenly wasn't going to be on board like she usually does, even though you can't tell me any different. Which I'm going to have a gripe at the end of this episode, so stay tuned. Curtis has not made his way over to Jamaica. He's in Canada for a business golfing trip. Okay. I don't have anything to say because there's no reason to say anything. We know Curtis and Purveyors of Pop still letting this crap go on. So, hey. Some people make it to Jamaica, and it looks like Eugene and Toya and kind of sort of Quad and Kirk, they are helping to facilitate this trip. Since Kirk is from Jamaica, that's where he's born and raised, he's trying to help facilitate, help them to not have to go through just the typical tourist places. Those tourist places anywhere are a lot more expensive. Let King show you where to really have fun. So they're going to be going to a nightclub. It's called Pier 1, but we're not there yet. And they're going to be celebrating Emancipation Day. I think it's different from what we saw from their time at the club. I'm not for sure, so don't quote me on it. But we'll see, I guess, in the next episode or so. So the couples go to the rooms. Whom actually has made it? There's some folks that are left behind. Simone and Cecil, they're trying to work on their marriage. Toya has set up to have things or activities for the couples to do alone to kind of like get them to more bond with each other or to have a little bit more intimacy with each other. I guess it's some type of body paint or whatever. Dr. Damon is not into it. Anyways, Kirk and Quad, they're going to try to find a way to just kind of rekindle things that's going on with them since this whole IVF thing took a toll on their relationship, as Kirk is going to say at the end of the episode. Quad was like, look, I don't want to think about nothing. I just want to have fun, da, 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 da. And then King was like, so you're going to be an airhead. Why did you say that? That wasn't necessary. There wasn't even any time for commentary. Sir, you take these digs. And like I said, there are a lot of people out there that will be manipulative to break you down. Even though right now, you may not even see it, but he's working in your own confidence and working on your own self-esteem. And that's what I see out of Kirk. Oh yeah, I already talked about the boy in this great talk to Cecil. Look, all I know is that if it was a great talk, that was not aired the way that we saw it on TV with Cecil, so whatever. Jackie wants to talk to Heavenly. She's begging Heavenly to be a part of this and get her act together. And Heavenly's like, no. You didn't chose who you wanted, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Things aren't going great. Heavenly asks, how many tickets that needs to be sold? And she said, about 100. How many have you sold thus far? 8. I think Heavenly is going to jump on the bandwagon or whatnot, but just wanted to give Jackie some HELL for even deciding to put Toya over it. But they do say on this bus, which I'm going to call out because it's weird, you ladies do stuff and be hypocrites later on. All of them. So anyways, now it's a club night. Angel makes a decision to stay in. She's studying to be a nurse practitioner, and she's in school. So she has 2 papers that are due. and she feels compelled to just stay in. I don't blame her, and I am just in awe that she's able to do all this, film this TV show, because guess what? With Angel being on the bottom of the food chain, she don't have options to opt out of things like possibly the other doctors can do, you know? So I commend her. She's raising a family, a job, has her own line, school. Yeah, so I clap my hands to her. So a lot of the other couples, they go out. I know Simone, Cecil, Eugene, and Toya, Quad, and Kirk, and maybe somebody else. But anyways, everybody's lit, and then they cut it off. They fast forward to 10 hours later, and they kind of retract what happened the night before as them getting lit. I would have preferred to see more of that than what was happening on the bus later in the day. Now, 10 hours later, it's time to prepare to go do their medical mission. I love the medical mission aspect of this show. It's kind of like this more empowering, motivational, back to school, give back for a lot of the children that just don't have a lot of those products at their hands. Kirk is working with his cousin, Dr. Donette Green, and they are bringing in a bunch of children, and all of the people that are there are going to have something motivational to say and all that good stuff. But before we get there, we're on the bus thing. If y'all could just see how I'm just tired. I'm tired. Toya says that she's assigning the singles, Brandy, which she's married, and Angel. She's going to be rotating between the couples and seeing what they can learn from them and to see how the couples can do better. And Heavenly's like, ain't nobody telling me ish. I mean, well, Brandy is married. Not as long as you. Possibly. I don't know. But, okay, I get it. And then she tried to describe it as someone who's a broke itch trying to tell me how to fix my finances. Basically, was still a dig at Toya, but it wasn't taken that way and all that. But whatever. I don't know. I understand it. If you are in a 20, 30 plus year marriage, what are you gonna tell me? I can get it. I can understand that, but whatever. Then they start talking about the Met Gala again. Heavenly and Toya get into it. Heavenly is just like done with it as far as having Toya trying to be the head of anything and all that. Toya said that both her and Eugene owe an apology. Eugene says, you're never going to get that. Da, 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 da. Anyways, there's this argument. Dr. Damon wants to cut in to just say, I'm tired of the argument and all that. Toya's going on and on and on. Heavenly's like, shut up, my man trying to talk. And Toya was like, well, I'm talking right now, and I will give him the floor when I can. He gets nothing from me if he's going to disrespect me. I cannot disagree with that. Because don't nobody care about your man like that but you, Heavenly. And I'm glad you have this great honor and respect. Don't nobody care. Now, was Toya saying anything great? I mean, she was just saying, let's leave whatever our crap is and make sure that we do the best job we can for this medical mission. She was. So, Dr. Damon, you're important, but you weren't important right then. I know that you wanted things to just calm down or whatnot, but Dr. Heavenly, no. I can't give it that, but whatever. They finally let Brandy in on what's happening with this Met Gala thing, which I just think is just totally crap at how these ladies function sometimes. Because of the old heads want to be the old heads, and they just want to stay within the clique. Instead of embracing the new folk that's going to have to carry the show on, because a lot of y'all can leave. But here's the thing. If Heavenly's upset about Toya being overstuffed, and y'all as a group, as y'all confessed on this bus, that you all came up with, give it over to Toya, then what the heck are y'all so upset with Toya about? I would never let her in to do whatever. That's just me. Now, if you want to give her a chance, but if you all were just trying to set her up to fail, that's on y'all. That's on y'all. Just like y'all did to Sweet Tea. Now, I don't have nothing for Sweet Tea because I think her and Greg were dumb to come on a show like this for several reasons. One, you know that your ex-wife is here. You don't need to be on here. You weren't even that important. I don't care about your doctor title. Two, y'all are just newly married. Why in the world would you want to put this on display and you know how they depict relationships? Why would you want to do that? So are y'all blameless? No. Y'all were dumb to listen to anything that these ladies wanted to say. Y'all want to blame Dr. Heavenly, but you had Simone boasting at how she wanted to give a big F you to Quad. And that's why she was hanging with old girl. And now old girl was just on the internet last week saying that Simone don't have anything to do with her anymore. I haven't heard from Simone since she came over there with that stunt about paying off Quad's house like a dummy. Let me stop. But no, these ladies are very weird sometimes. And I don't like how they act. They're very hypocritical. And no one is blameless. No one is blameless. I don't even want to stick up for Toya, and I don't think it's really a stick up. It's just like, y'all can't do this. Y'all cannot. Y'all set it up that way. I'm sorry. No, that is so crazy. So the medical mission starts and all that good stuff. Everyone's doing their thing. Dr. Heavenly, while she's talking, she starts saying the D-A-M-N word. Cuss. She said, oh, that's not a cuss word. In what world, in what reality? Maybe Florida. It's that way, I guess. Whatever. I live in Florida. I wasn't raised in Florida. But anyways. Whatever. Heavenly looks to squash the beef with Toya. And Toya was like, yeah. And this is where I said that she's acting just like Simone is. Like, we know what you give, Heavenly, and whatever. Get out of my face. Later on, there's a little talk. It was a weird kind of ending cliffhanger, but we are getting a little bit more into this Quad and Kirk situation. It's about supporting, even sacrificing to support. Dr. Damon's talking about how he doesn't want Dr. Heavenly to do politics. However, he's sacrificing for Heavenly because if you're called to do something or you have an unction to do something, go on and do it. And I'm going to stand behind you. Even though earlier in the season, it was just like, yeah, I support you. But it's like, it's a support out of obligation. Just like King, which I feel like that's what he was doing. Well, that's what you want to do, Quad, so I'm going to do it. Your heart's not in it. So then he starts talking about in his confessional, he got his own solo confessional. Did I say King? Whatever, Kirk. About how IVF just really took a toll on their relationship. That's all I do have, y'all. I rambled on and I just feel like this season has just turned into Simone and Toya versus Dr. Heavenly. Dr. Heavenly, who is a friend. We got 8 or 9 ladies on this show, y'all. And that's where my frustration is. And that's where I'm at, why I'm saying, what are we doing? So, I'll be negative Nick, and don't care how y'all feel about me talking about a black show. Because I need stuff to make sense. Now, if we're in the phase of, okay, well, hopefully we get clarity on a certain thing. Cool, but we're not. It's just, it's been since the beginning of this episode until the end. Since the season. Simone and Toya versus Heavenly. Again, a friend of the show. All right, tell me what your thoughts. Hopefully, y'all, before you turn me off, you liked this video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and until the next one, peace.